Want to get a head start on college? With the online dual enrollment program from PCC, you can do just that. Gain an affordable Christian liberal arts education with a biblical worldview, equipping you for your future degree. Open to rising sophomores and above, dual enrollment students can take up to 6 online courses per year that count toward both high school and college requirements. With over 30 courses offered fall, spring, and summer, choose to lighten your college load and, depending on your major, finish college early. You'll be able to fit courses around your schedule, a perfect way to complete many of your college liberal arts courses before you graduate from high school and step foot on campus. And the best part is, you'll only pay a fraction of what you pay for those same classes if you took them in college. Get a head start on your education today by visiting pcci.edu/dual enrollment.
At Pensacola Christian College, we believe in helping you reach your goals. And that's why we're dedicated to something we call the PCC Promise. We want to provide you with a place that you can achieve academic excellence based on a biblical worldview and give you an incredible experience, all at an unmatched cost.
Knowing the faculty here and knowing how much I felt like they cared about me, this is where I want it to be.
No matter what career you're going to go into, you need to know what God says, you need to make choices, and you need to be informed biblically.
It's very fun to just go out and hang out with a bunch of guys who are Christ-like.
I have a job on campus, which is a huge blessing.
And I also did have a scholarship because my parents were involved in ministry.
Then fourth year free comes along. You don't have to worry about it.
Our goal is to empower leaders to influence the world for Christ, and we would love to invest in your future.
Choosing a college is so much more than deciding where you're going to live for the next few years. It's choosing a culture, group of people, and academic standard that will shape you into the person you want to become. It's an exciting time, and when you visit campus, it gets even more exciting. It's your moment to get a feel for the atmosphere and community. Catch a game, sit in on classes, visit chapel, make new friends, and so much more. And now you can experience college life your way with multiple visit options. No matter when you come, you'll find a vibrant community influencing the world for Christ. You won't just blend in, you'll belong. So don't wait. See how you can experience PCC today.
CCAA is committed to the true spirit of competition and upholding the 4 core values of the game plan for life: love, integrity, faith, and excellence. We ask that each participant, official, and spectator join us in exhibiting these Christ-like characteristics and help us create a positive environment in which to enjoy today's competition. Welcome to the Nest, the home of the Pensacola Christian College Eagles. Tonight's South Region semifinal match is between Toccoa Falls College and your Pensacola Christian College Lady Eagles. At this time, please stand for prayer and remain standing for the national anthem. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this blessed day that you have given to us, Lord. We thank you for the wonderful sport of volleyball and that you've brought us all here today. Pray that you'll be with all the players, keep them all safe, and I pray that you help us to just do all that we do for your honor and for your glory, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Today's sports medicine coverage is provided by Baptist Healthcare and the Andrews Institute for Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider for Pensacola Christian College. To learn more about the outreach program and available sources, please visit andrewsinstitute.com. Now starting today for Toccoa Falls, number 2, Kiera Giberson. Number 3, Emily Long. Number 4, Caitlin Woolett. Number 10, Abriella Carey. Number 12, Allie Brock. Number 13, Izzy Walker. And number 15, Kylie Giberson. Toccoa is led by Coach Katie Skeen. And now, Eagle fans, the starting lineup for your Pensacola Christian College Lady Eagles. A junior from Mount Vernon, Texas, number 1, Anna Stevens. A junior from Heartland, Maine, number 2, Hope Brooks. A sophomore from Somerset, Kentucky, number 7, Olivia Boyd. A sophomore from Livingston, Louisiana, number 9, Macy Johnson. A junior from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, number 14, Lissy Metzger. A sophomore from Hampton, Georgia, number 15, Sydney Anderson. And a freshman from Sulphur, Louisiana, number 17, Madison Candle. The Lady Eagles are led by Coach Ryan Vanderboe with assistant coach Kenzie Folker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pensacola, Florida for another Lady Eagles volleyball match. This is the 2025 NCCAA Division II South Region Tournament, and we're in the semifinal stages of this tournament. Previously today, Toccoa Falls and Trinity College of Jacksonville squared off in the play-in match, with Toccoa emerging victorious. Their reward is facing the number 1 seeded Pensacola Christian College Lady Eagles in the semifinals. Just before this match, Bob Jones defeated Baptist University of Florida in a 3-set sweep, and the Lady Bruins await the winner of this match for the South Region Championship tomorrow. I'm Garrett Ordway. Joining me tonight is Carrie Ordway. Carrie, what a great season we've had so far. We're looking forward to these two teams matching up. What are some keys to the game for the Lady Eagles this evening?
So this opening match here, when you're coming in as a number 1 seed, one of the interesting dynamics is, you've had this weekend circled on your calendar for a while, but this first game, coming in as a number 1 seed, this is the one that you want to show up, play your game, and then move on to the next one. So I think it's going to be key for the Eagles tonight to not overthink this particular game, but also make sure that they play intentionally throughout, because even with this match tonight, they're setting the stage for what we hope they'll be doing tomorrow as well.
Yeah, certainly we've talked a lot about the Lady Eagles throughout the course of the season. One thing we definitely think is so important for them is setting the pace of play. Talk a little bit about how important the pace of play is.
Yeah, so if they can establish a quick pace of play, that's going to prevent their opponent's offense, especially their opponent's block, from really getting in place, rather the opponent's defense. And, if they can keep their defense on their toes and prevent the opponent from getting into system, that's going to be a huge indicator of how successful they can run their own offense.
All right, and that first serve received there by the libero, Hope Brooks. And we're off and running the block. Overpass. Anderson knocks it down. 1-0 Lady Eagles lead. Rurik entering the game for Macy Johnson. Boyd back to serve. Over the block and just inside the back line. Giberson with the kill.
And once again, after that dropped ball there, you see immediately libero Brooks communicating with Metzger on the back row. And that strong communication has been such a hallmark of this Eagles defense throughout this season.
Brooks gets it there. It's going to be Rurik with the roll. Tipped and just falls in front of a diving Brooks. Toccoa Falls responding with a couple points of their own. Deep and too deep. You hear the bench. Coach Vanderboe calling that one on the back line. You like that communication from the bench?
Yeah, absolutely. And, thinking about controlling the pace of the game, Toccoa Falls is coming into this match fired up. We've already seen them come in with a high energy level, ready to play. So the Eagles are going to have to make sure that they don't allow Toccoa to dictate the pace of play, and rather that they maintain that and dictate it instead.
Yeah, certainly they've had a game already today. You think they might have gotten in some rhythm. They might be a little tired out, but it was earlier this afternoon, 1 o'clock, the start time for that first game. And in the net there, Anderson gives the point right back.
And we've seen a few mistakes here that these are the types of errors that, we've seen the Eagles sometimes be prone to make here at the beginning of a set before they start to get into rhythm. So these are the types of mistakes that, we would expect this Eagles team to be cleaning up pretty quickly.
Yeah, an unfortunate missed serve received there by the Lady Eagles.
Another interesting dynamic of this particular match is that the Eagles are without one of their setters, Whiting, who has been setting for the Eagles throughout the season. So in her place, we have Johnson coming in to set, and then we have Rurik coming in to hit when she's on front row. So especially when you get to a game like this, throwing in new players into the mix, that's going to require a whole new level of communication. And we might see a little bit of friction in between players just as they're working out some of the unfamiliarity of playing beside those players.
Yeah, and with that ball going off the antenna there, had a quick second there for the line judge to readjust, get that on position, and it's Emily Long to serve. Anderson gets the kill. We see that first offense, and that has been so important for the Lady Eagles' success this season.
Yeah, that first offense, and one of the things that's great about the fact that they've had so much success with those first offenses is that frequently for that first offense, the hitter is hitting out of that person's normal rotation. So we saw Anderson swinging from the right side that time. Obviously, usually one of the middle blockers for the Eagles.
Good job by Metzger there on that tight set with the left-handed kill.
I love that option from Metzger, one, to go to her left hand, but two, to swipe it cross court. That's something that we've seen her try to get throughout the season. You know, sometimes she's able to successfully get that across, but that was a great option.
Anderson with the ace there. She had a dig on that previous play, filling up the stat sheet. Dug up in the middle, tipped over. And the pancake there by Boyd, but unable to get an offense up.
Toccoa Falls has had a bit of success already throughout the beginning of this first set with those off-speed attacks or tips there to the middle. But that's something we've seen the Lady Eagles adjust to well throughout the season. You know, as they've played different teams that will go to consistently that spot, you know, they work around it and they get that figured out.
7-6, Johnson re-enters to serve. Good one, and the attack coming from the back row. Just off of a diving Candles dig.
We've seen Toccoa Falls have some success with their attacks as the Lady Eagles continue to tighten up their block, get their block into position, making sure they're closing the gap between the two blockers. I think that's really going to limit the success of that offense that Toccoa Falls is running.
Walker to serve. Brooks, Johnson, up high for Boyd, tipped, and Stevens puts the overpass down.
Stevens, good awareness to go up on that. You know, that was a ball where either Boyd or Stevens could have made a play on it, but communicating well, and Stevens had a good angle.
Metzger to serve. 8-7 Lady Eagles lead. Good serve. Little out of system here and off the block into Metzger. And
that's another one of those where we immediately see the Eagles block recognizing, you know, tightening up the block, being a little bit more forceful there could help prevent some of those successful attacks.
Gabriella Carey to serve for Toccoa Falls. Brooks gets it up high. Johnson back set for Stevens. A little off the net, off the block, and we play on. Attack coming off some hands. Brooks gets it up high. Johnson, back set. Boyd, big swing, and the free ball blocked by Stevens. Blocked by Boyd, and that'll be it. That front row of the Lady Eagles taking care of it.
Yeah, and you see the Lady Eagles especially excited for that block by Boyd there. But I want to point out that block by Stevens in the middle of that play. Once again, we see her reaching balls that you don't expect her to reach. She is able to use both her wingspan and her height greatly to her advantage.
In the middle, blocked. Dug up high. And outside attack, block, but out. Good tool of the block there by Giberson.
And you see Anderson coming in for Stevens in the middle there, immediately picking up where Stevens left off and defending the net.
Metzger. Johnson gets it up for Boyd. Dug up there by Toccoa. Right side attack. Metzger gets it up high. Johnson. It'll be Anderson in the middle. Big swing. Finds the line. Really great kind of a cut shot there by Anderson.
Yeah, definitely a sharp cross there. And I think she intended to do that, but maybe didn't even expect the results that she got with that one. That was a tight set that she got, and she did a good job of making sure to stay out of the net.
Johnson's exits for Rurik. Boyd serves in the middle, tipped. Anderson read it. Boyd in the middle for Anderson, off some hands, played by Toccoa. Blocked, Metzger gets there. Boyd, back set, Candle, off some hands, blocked. And Rurik with the free ball, good play there by the Lady Eagles, keeping it alive. This time, touch given by the down official. And the point will go to Toccoa Falls. Really tight play there at the net from both teams. That one going to Toccoa Falls. 10-10. Anderson. Boyd, this time it's going to be Rurik. Off some hands, up high, the dig. Back set. Tips, Candle. Toccoa running kind of a quick offense here to get things going for them.
And I would say at this point, Toccoa is doing a really good job of setting the pace of play.
Brooks gets it up. Boyd in the middle for Anderson. Tipped, dug up, over the hands, no touch. Back and forth in this furious first set.
And once again, you're seeing the differing levels of energy that both of these teams are bringing. Toccoa is looking like the lower ranked appointment coming in, trying to put up a big fight against the number 1 ranked Pensacola.
We've seen a lot of these where it's just hitting the block and falling for the Lady Eagles. Just that little bit of penetration needed in order to kind of stuff those a little better. Long to serve. Metzger up high. Brooks gets there. It'll be Rurik with the free ball. Finding their positions. Toccoa Falls sets up their attack. Candle gets it up high. Boyd, it's going to be Anderson. Just wide. Really going in the middle a lot in this first set, the Lady Eagles.
You know, we always like it when they get the middle hitter incorporated into their offense, but adding a little variety here is going to keep Toccoa's defense a little bit more on their toes.
Candle. Boyd back set Anderson. This time on the right side, and that was down in a hurry. Stevens will enter. Minton will enter to serve. Big swing, blocked. Stevens, though, on her own side.
Once again, we see Stevens reading that well. She was in position, just needing to push that a little farther over, get that penetration over the net that you were talking about.
All right, Lady Eagles looking to set up first offense. It'll be Woolett to serve. Brooks, Boyd, Metzger. Finds the back corner, little off speed, but it dropped just in time.
And we haven't seen Metzger getting too involved in the offense yet. You mentioned earlier the Eagles going frequently to their middle hitting option right now. So certainly looking to see her getting more involved.
Brooks gets it up. Johnson, Metzger. Big swing off the block, dug up there nicely by Toccoa. Free ball comes over. Offense for the Lady Eagles. In the mid, it goes to Boyd on the right side. Good. Deked me out there in the middle with Stevens.
Great play there. And, you know, that's the result of the Eagles going to that middle hitting option so often that they
freed up that right side. Johnson down the line. Good serve. In the middle. Tipped over and just sweep. Okay. Signaled down by the line judge here. Just fell in front of a diving Johnson, I believe. And Toccoa retains or takes a slim lead, 15-14. Walker to serve. Wide. Service errors plaguing Toccoa in this first set.
And you would expect that from the lower ranked team. You know, they're trying to apply as much pressure as they can with their serves. potentially leading to the errors that we've seen from them so far.
Kill there by Brock. Brooks, Johnson, Boyd tipped it wide. It was a good attempt there by Boyd, but out of the middle. We'll have a timeout by Coach Vanderboe. (17-15). Toccoa Falls leads the Pensacola Christian College Lady Eagles in this first set. Carey back to serve. Brooks, Johnson, back set for Stevens. Great swing there by Stevens. You like seeing the middles get that first offense on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, that was the second perfect pass that Brooks got up on serve receive. Throughout this set so far, we've seen the Eagles struggling a little bit with serve receive, not getting up clean passes to their setters. But that was the one. That was a perfect pass to initiate that offense.
Good job there by Candle getting to that tip on two. Metzger, Johnson, wide for Candle. High off some hands, we play on. Brooks, good pass to Johnson. There in the middle, Anderson, but blocked.
Just a little bit of a low set there. And once again, that's one of those communication and connection issues there between a setter and her hitter. You know, Johnson and Anderson, they haven't had a whole season's worth of working together.
Iverson with the serve. Metzger, Johnson gets there. It'll be Boyd. Tight. Back set. Around the block. Woolett. (19-16). Toccoa Falls off to a hot start. Metzger. Johnson. This time it'll be Anderson. Big swing. Looking for some hands, none given as that falls past the back line. Metzger, Johnson, back set Boyd, down the line, handled by Carey. Big swing, out. No touch given, just wide there from Giverson. Rurik will enter. Boyd will start things off with the serve. Blocked. Tips. Candle read it. Boyd in the middle. Anderson. Big swing, and it's down. That was the timing she was looking for.
Yep. And we just saw a little bit of mistiming on a couple of Anderson's earlier hits, not quite getting on top of the ball. And once again, potentially some timing issues just resulting from that connection with the set.
Boyd reads that one. Brooks gets it up high. Candle with the cut. Finds a hole.
Candle certainly putting a spin on that one. Thumbs down on that attack. You know, that was impressive that she managed to keep it in given the trajectory that she had.
Off the block, Candle. Boyd off the block and down. Boyd and Anderson really timing things up now in the middle.
Yeah, I love that quick option there to go to Anderson as well. This is the dictating of the pace that we've been talking about.
2020. Blocked! All of a sudden, the Lady Eagles block.
Yeah.
Stonewalling the
Right.
front line for Toccoa.
And that's what we've seen throughout so much of this early set. The fact that the block was there, but just not quite putting it all together.
In the middle. And Toccoa will need a timeout. 22-20. Lady Eagles on a run here. We'll take a timeout with them. All right, 22-20. Boyd serving out of the Lady Eagles timeout. Toccoa Falls with the opportunity for a first offense, but wasted.
You know, one of the things that we've seen Coach Vanderbo do throughout the season is take full advantage of every timeout, whether he calls it or the opponent calls it. And we saw Toccoa Falls come out very quickly after that timeout that they had called. Vanderbo taking the entire timeout to talk to his team. And I like that even as a sign of controlling the game.
Yeah, Toccoa tried to switch up their attack there, but Metzger read that tip. And it leads to a set point now with that kill by Anderson. Finding that pocket corner as she's done so often. Good serve by Boyd. Her consistency here really propelled the Lady Eagles to a set one victory.
And that successful block potentially forcing that error, that adjustment that resulted in the error.
Some good grit shown there by the Lady Eagles, coming back to win set one, 25-20. All right, a fast and furious first set, 25-20. Pensacola Christian College Lady Eagles taking it over the Toccoa Falls College. Back and forth until Toccoa was up 20-16 in that first set, and the Lady Eagles ran away. Boyd at the service line. Brooks will start us here in set 2, but the service error.
The beginning of that first set was certainly the start that Toccoa Falls wanted to that set. They came out with all of the energy that any coach would want from a team. But like you said, the Eagles managing to shift that momentum in their favor really toward the latter end of that set.
All right, Boyd to serve. Dug up there by Toccoa. Blocked! Stuff right in the middle by Anderson.
I think as we see the Eagles block be more successful, we're going to start to see Toccoa's attacks be a little bit more tentative. They're going to be forced to adjust to that blocking presence.
And blocked there, Rurik or Anderson for the Lady Eagles. Tipped. Brooks up high. Boyd. Anderson played by Carey. Past the block. Boyd gets it tight. Candle. Oh, called in the net. Couldn't tell if that ball was down.
Yeah. A quick attack from Candle when she hit it. But that was a tight set, and she was just unable to stay out of that net.
Coach Vanderbilt asking for some clarification. 2-2. Boyd, Anderson, left hand, just didn't quite stay out of the net.
Really close by Anderson there. You saw her try to manipulate and try to avoid the net.
Yeah, all 3 points for Toccoa so far coming on Lady Eagle errors. Metzger, Boyd, back set Candle, and there's a kill off the hands of Giberson.
Great spot there by Candle, splitting the seam between Toccoa's defense.
And Barilla enters for Toccoa Falls. Oh, short serve there, Candle. Up high, the attack coming off some hands. And we play on. Metzger. Boyd, Anderson, thrown down.
Excellent attack by Anderson there. Especially in placing that to that deep corner.
I think it was Rurik there again on the block. She's been quite a presence on the front line here for the Lady Eagles. Metzger with the roll finds the campfire.
See, finally, the Eagles getting to take advantage of that open middle position that Toccoa has found so often.
5-3. Candle to serve. And an ace. 6-3. And I think thinking about Rurik and Johnson playing, a big role here for the Lady Eagles tonight, they've gotten some good playing time this season as the Lady Eagles have taken care of business often. And I think that'll be important for them. Fourth contact there for Toccoa Falls.
Especially in the last few home matches that the Eagles have had, Vanderbilt has been intentionally trying to incorporate those two into the offense, anticipating that Whiting would be out for this match.
Roll. Metzger reads it. Boyd gives it right back to Metzger. Big swing, tools the block.
One of the things coming out of the first set was, Anderson had a phenomenal set as far as attacking, especially in the second half of that set, finishing set 1 with 7 kills. But we've already seen here in the second set, the Lady Eagles show a lot more variety in their offense. And that's going to be critical to their success both today and they hope tomorrow once again.
Metzger only with 2 kills on 3 attempts in that first set, and she's already eclipsed that number here in the second. Candle to serve, 9-3 lead for the Lady Eagles. Big swing, blocks, Rurik.
And you are right, Ruick has been an excellent blocking presence so far, especially this set. We saw her get involved early in the set from the very beginning, and she's been a consistent presence since.
Good serve again by Candle. Oh, really tight. Good play. Good swing there by Walker on that tight cut.
And good serves by Candle. You know, we didn't mention it, but she's been a good, consistent server for the Eagles and has had a lot of success throughout the season. She has led the Eagles in aces.
Long to serve. Candle. Boyd back set Anderson. Misses contacts that. Set, I think, a little inside of her anticipation, and it's 10-5. Lady Eagles lead. Brooks up high. Boyd over to Metzger. Big swing. Another missed contact, and Lady Eagles maybe taking the big lead a little for granted there on a couple of their last swings. They'll look to start a good first offense here. Candle. Boyd back set Anderson. There it is, down the line and in.
Candle's had some really good serve receives in this stretch here. Certainly giving her setter a lot to work with.
That's something she's been working hard on over the last couple of weeks, and it's good to see her. I mean, those are picture-perfect passes right there up to the setter. Out of system here, the attack coming, and no fourth contact given at the net there. Just off the tape. And it'll be Anderson to serve again. Oh, a good one. Dug up there by Atha. Boyd over to Metzger. Big swing and gets the kill.
Eagles doing a good job of reading that left-handed attack coming out of the right side, characteristically going down the line.
13-6. Dug up, but a little out of system. Back row swing coming, and it's down. Lady Eagles with a commanding lead here early in this first set. Stevens, Metzger, Ruick in the front row, tight, and tips. And we play on. Ruick tips. And another one just falls in front of the Lady Eagles back row. Boyd. Stevens. Dug way up high, but no second contact for Toccoa Falls. Anna Stevens.
And how often have we talked about throughout this season how good of an option it is to incorporate Stevens into the offense immediately when she comes in. You know, I think a lot of teams would breathe a sigh of relief when Anderson rotates off the court, but to show that Stevens is going to come in and put the same amount of pressure in front row, I think is a great option.
Miss swing there by Johnson on the serve. And it'll send it back to Toccoa. Candle. Johnson over to Boyd. Diving attempt there and off the antenna. Point for the Lady Eagles.
We see that kind of soft, a little bit off speed attack from Boyd, finding success as she has so often throughout this season.
Giberson off some hands and down. Just didn't quite close the block there. Long back into the game for Toccoa. Bring some energy on that front row. You know, these teams matched up very early in the season. They haven't played since. Both teams very young. Toccoa with all freshmen, sophomores, and just one junior. Both teams have grown quite a bit over the course of this season. Stevens with the tip. Candle. Johnson back to Candle. Blocked. And Johnson jumped, but I think her height saved her there.
Yeah. Definitely, she would have to be jumping pretty high to get over the net, and you even saw her, kind of withdraw a little bit to make sure that her hand didn't cross the plane of the net there.
Yeah, but the official did give kind of an okay symbol on that, ending up not being an attack there by Johnson. And Candle asking for the touch, gets it, point for the Lady Eagles.
The Eagles have come out to a really strong start. They came out to a really strong start in the second set. Let the pace slow down a little bit here in the middle. I'd really like to see them end this second set with that same level of energy that they started it with.
Good job by Candle reading that tip attempt, but good job by Giberson blocking the Boyd attack. Rivera exits. Brooks. Johnson over to Anderson. Whoa.
And one of those, another potentially just missed timing there between Johnson and Anderson, talking it over, following that play.
Low and just didn't quite roll over the top of the tape there. Rurik will re-enter. In the middle. Oh, just out of a diving reach of Brooks. I think Metzger thought maybe Brooks was more in that middle position.
We saw that catch just a little bit of the tip of the block.
Kendall. Boyd. Anderson. Really great court recognition there by Anderson, tipping it back to where the set had come from, catching Toccoa Falls a little off guard. Barilla will enter as Candle goes back to serve. She went on quite a run earlier in this second set at the service line. Another short one, and the free ball comes over. Candle. Boyd, jump, set, Metzger. Read well, though, by the block. Long there for the block in the middle on Anderson. She's had a couple on Anderson in this match so far tonight. She'll head back to serve. Brooks, Boyd back set. Anderson punches it deep. And we play on. The roll comes over Candle, but we're going to have a net violation. Anderson.
Toccoa Falls certainly doing a good job here of trying to force their way back into this set.
Yeah, several points in a row around a Lady Eagles serve. Back set Anderson this time. Blocked again.
This is one of those times where Anderson is such a good option to go to so many times, but this is a great opportunity to add a little variety here instead. Send that potentially to an outside.
Long. Over to Metzger. Big swing, finds the line, down the line.
And a good option right there to go to Metzger. I'm waiting to see a big hit from Metzger. She hasn't quite had the opportunity to swing the way that that she wants to swing.
Smart swing there down the line. Minton to serve. Entering for Anderson. In the middle. And catches the back line. Good swing there by Brock. And the Lady Eagles staked themselves to quite a large lead in this second set. Toccoa Falls trying to bring themselves back in. Roulette to serve. Candle. It'll be Metzger. Big swing. Dug up there by Toccoa, over on two. And a fortuitous play there around the net goes Pensacola Christian's way.
Yeah, good awareness and then reflexes by Stevens there in the middle.
Yeah, we saw toward the end of that first set the Lady Eagles block really key them to victory. Toccoa Falls block trying to do the same thing over this last run of points. Johnson with the serve. Back row attack coming. Brooks is there. Johnson, Metzger, tips. And fourth contact. Good attempt there, the pancake by Walker. But the Lady Eagles draw a point closer, 23-17. Just into the tape and down.
You know, the Lady Eagles didn't have any service errors in the first set, and that's been a big swing from the first to the second set. Something that you anticipate the Eagles taking a little bit more care of in the next set.
Brooks, Johnson, back set Metzger on the right side with the tip.
Certainly another smart play by Metzger there. And I do love that option from Metzger. Once again, like I mentioned earlier, she's got a big hit, you know, and you know that she's waiting to swing full out. But to be able to show the restraint to instead go to some of these smarter, softer plays really shows her experience and awareness.
Oh, good job there by Boyd. And Metzger will give the free ball. Tipped, Candle. Johnson back to Candle. Big swing, Doug, not quite. I know the ending of that play for Candle was special, but Boyd getting the block and then diving out of bounds to get the tip.
Absolutely.
What a set two. Toccoa Falls tried to claw their way back in, but the Lady Eagles take it 25-18. Just a 3-minute break here between sets 2 and 3, so we'll see you again in a couple minutes.
Organizations in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. For questions about your healthcare needs or help with a referral, Pensacola Christian College's certified trainer, Stephen Halsey, is available to connect you with Andrews Institute and Baptist healthcare providers.
All right, between sets 2 and 3, here at home we've had 5-minute breaks this season, just 3 here in the regional tournament. 25-20, 25-18 in that second set. Carrie, what'd you like out of the Pensacola Christian College Lady Eagles?
Coming out of the first set, I mentioned adding a little bit of variety to their offense would be a good option for the Eagles, and they were able especially to get Metzger more incorporated into their offense. She had 7 kills in that second set, matching Anderson's 7 kills from set 1. So certainly pleased with that. Looking back on that second set, though, the Eagles certainly have a number of errors that they can work on cleaning up. But these are the types of errors that we've talked about through the season, that so many of these are things that are completely within the Eagles' control, like missed serves, things like that. So it should give the Eagles some level of confidence to know that, those weren't errors that were forced on them.
Giberson with the ace there. Metzger passing it just a little too close to the net for Johnson to get a set to it. Toccoa Falls will need to find something in this third set in order to extend their season. NCCAA Division II did recognize some of their progress over the season, coming in ranked 7th nationally to the region tournament. Boyd with a strong kill there on the right side.
One of the things that makes Boyd such an effective hitter is, like we talked about earlier, so often she uses these softer, more off-speed attacks, but then she'll switch it up completely and come with a strong attack like what she just did. And very difficult to read.
All right, Boyd with the service error gives it back. Giberson to serve. Candle, Brooks, and Metzger receiving this serve. Candle in the front row, along with Anderson and Rurik. Boyd blocked in the middle there by Long. They started to get that block going toward the end of that second set. Anderson, Boyd, back set Candle. Blocked but down. Not quite extending that time. Looked like it was Walker. Candle to serve. Blocked. Metzger, Boyd. Anderson takes it just wide. She and Rurik both in the vicinity for that attack. And Toccoa Falls, needing it, has jumped out to an early lead. Long, a big presence in the front line for Toccoa Falls, has rotated back. And it looks like she'll exit for the libero, Atha. Blocked there by Rurik and Stevens, and okay, no block there by Rurik and Stevens, just off the tape. Fourth contact for Toccoa Falls gives the point to Pensacola Christian. Anderson, good serve. Ball comes up high, it's over. Rurik. Stevens goes on 2 and finds the line.
Love that option from Stevens to go on 2. But Stevens being called into the net, to the surprise of, I think, all of the Eagles.
Boy, we do not have the advantages of replay here in the South Region Tournament. And so the point goes to Toccoa Falls. Metzger tooling the block there and gets it right back. Johnson enters for Rurik. She'll head back to serve. Toccoa Falls leading 7-5. In the middle, just in front of Candle.
Bit of a slow start for the Eagles here in this set. But, thinking back on how Toccoa's gotten their points, it's just a little bit of the Eagles cleaning up a little bit of everything that they're doing. Getting a little sharper passes, a little bit more careful attacks.
A nice swipe there by Stevens.
Yeah, a good play by Stevens there. And once again, we talked about the height difference between Johnson and Anderson in the front row, trying to figure out the height between those two, looking at the same thing with Johnson and Stevens.
Metzger to serve. And little out of system yet. Free ball comes over. Brooks, Johnson, wide for Candle. Back row dig attempt falls short. Point for the Lady Eagles. Diving attempt there by Walker. It'll be Metzger to serve. Good one. In system. Big swing off the block. Brooks gets it. Johnson. Back set. Boyd. Dug way up high. And free ball comes over. Good job there by Giberson to go get that one. Boyd tips. Played up. Tight. Stevens was right there. Brooks gets it to Candle. Tipped. And we play on. Blocked. Stevens.
Once again, that wingspan of Stevens.
Feels like she's up for so long there at the net.
I'm pretty sure sometimes she's come back down to the ground whenever she makes those attempts.
8-8. Lady Eagles tied this one up. Metzger. Good serve. Tight. Candle.
Candle a little eager on that one. And that was a net call that I don't think anyone disputed.
Sometimes on these fast ones, you think maybe it's the ball, but down judge calling that one pretty quickly. Overpass there. Killed by Toccoa. 10-8. Carey with the serve. Candle. Leaving no doubt.
What a sharp attack from Candle there.
Coming back from a couple, yeah.
Right. But showing the awareness to go down the line on that one. Showing the ability to go down the line. Overall, a great attack by Candle.
Brooks to serve. Anderson re-entered in the front row. Swing coming off the block. Johnson. And Anderson, I think a little bit more aware of Long there in the middle, tipped it back right.
Yeah.
From our vantage point.
And Johnson did a good job of getting that ball nice and high to work with. You saw that Anderson was able to fully extend on that tip.
Brooks with the ace. Strong serve, forcing the errant pass. Brooks with the lead. Giberson down the line, but long. Point for the Lady Eagles. Responding well. Tied 8-8. Toccoa responds with a couple points, but the Lady Eagles on a 4-0 run. Back row attack. Long. Just misses that back corner past the line judge. 13-10. Toccoa Falls trying to find some offense. Service error there.
We certainly saw Brooks being pretty aggressive with her serves there. Certainly having success off of those.
Thinking about some offense for Toccoa Falls, Long actually didn't register a kill in those first two sets, whether that's a consequence of Anderson's big presence on the front or just not quite getting a good offense to her, a good set to her. They'll look to get her involved here to get things going. Boyd with the serve. Tipped over. Great play there from, I believe that was Giberson. Smart play on 2. It'll send Kylie Giberson back to serve. Oh, Candle. Handcuffed there a little bit. Rurik tips. That's one you don't typically see fall.
Yeah.
Not sure how they'll score that for Rurik.
I think Rurik, she free-balled that one over, I think out of instinct, and it was one of those, as soon as she did it, you kind of saw on her face, like,
Bummer.
why did I send that over? But certainly worked in her favor.
Anderson. Boyd. It'll be Metzger. Big swing. Boyd. Brooks. Anderson. Tips. Played by Giberson. And big swing, but blocked. Anderson right there. Wanting to bring the energy for the Lady Eagles. Roulette just right into awaiting Anderson and Metzger there. Tipped. Metzger reads it. Boyd. Anderson. Attack coming. Rolled over. Boyd. Metzger. Big swing off some hands. Giberson gets it. Back row attack. Boyd gets there. Brooks gives it up. Rurik. And we play on the free ball. Lady Eagles starting their offense. Boyd in the middle. Anderson blocked. Brooks. Boyd gets it up for Metzger. Back and forth we go in this point. Off the hands of Long. Candle up high for Boyd. It'll be Candle in the back row this time. Great diving attack there by Toccoa to keep the play going. Brooks. And it went maybe around the antenna. I saw a line judge waving on the far corner from us.
What great teamwork from the Eagles, though, throughout the entirety of that volley. Every player getting incorporated into what was happening.
This short serve from Candle has been exceptionally effective across the course of this match. And
across the course of the season.
I feel like the margin of error for that is really slim. You're trying to just drop it over the net. And then she'll uncork one of those. And with that 19-12 lead, Toccoa Falls will take a timeout. All right, 19-12, Lady Eagles lead. Trying to close in on a third set victory. Tight and too tight. 2012. Lady Eagles have entered a term I've heard this season, the red zone, here in set 3. Reaching that 20, nearing the 25 points necessary, but not that time. Willette off the block. 2013. Toccoa Falls have put up a strong fight across the course of this match. Certainly they're not out of it yet. Long back to serve. Oh, Brooks sneaking in there at the last second. Tips tight. And 4 contacts. Kind of a odd point all around there for both teams. goes the Lady Eagles' way.
Great defense by Brooks there to keep that play alive, but also what we've come to expect from Brooks.
Minton to serve. Good one. Tight. Boyd is there. Minton gets it to Metzger. Good roll. And a swing here from Walker. Boyd back to Metzger. High off some hands. And the attack from Walker blocked by Stevens. 22-13. Metzger back to serve. Johnson hustling in for Rurik. I think incorrectly because it's Minton serve, so Macy's going to get a front row opportunity here. We'll see what she can do on the right side attack. Effective.
I think Johnson thought she was getting ready to have to go up and block on that one.
Okay, so Crumley came in for Johnson. So into that Rurik position, Coach Vanderbilt was looking to make a sub. That one into the net on the serve by Minton. 23-14. Toccoa needing to put together a run right now. And it'll be Crumley. Big swing, the freshman.
What an opportunity for Crumley, too, coming in and then being able to get that swing. Or one opportunity.
Perfect hitting percentage on the night for Crumley. And it'll be Johnson re-entering to serve. 24-14, match point in this semifinal. Big swing, blocked. Johnson gets there. Brooks gets it up high. Metzger with the roll, and that'll end it. Smart play there by Metzger. 25-14, Lady Eagles taking this one in 3 sets. Carry some closing thoughts.
I don't think that was quite the game that the Eagles, were planning on having, that they wanted to have, but there were certainly a lot of moments throughout this match that they can be encouraged by, especially going into their championship match tomorrow. They showed good resiliency in not letting themselves get bogged down in some of those mistakes they were making, especially in that first set, doing a good job of coming back. So certainly a lot to be proud of.
I think Coach Vanderbilt is probably happy with the opportunity for some stiff competition before they face Bob Jones tomorrow. What is that aspect bringing for the Lady Eagles, having to play a tough match this evening?
Yeah, kudos to Toccoa Falls. They came out absolutely with the highest level of energy. They played really hard and certainly did provide a pretty high level of competition for the Eagles tonight. So certainly congratulations on the seasons that they've had. But yeah, you want to be able to face a little bit of adversity leading into that. Getting a little bit of momentum coming out of this match going into tomorrow.
Strong third set. Right,
absolutely. But also having some definite areas to work on that you can have in mind going into another tough set tomorrow, tough match.
Yeah, a couple errors for the Lady Eagles to clean up. They'll have this overnight to think about those as we head into tomorrow's championship match, 11 a.m., the 2025 NCCAA Division II South Region Championship match played here in the Nest. The winning team will punch their ticket into the 2025 national tournament. Both teams will take the court in hopes of that national tournament berth. Bob Jones Bruins against the Pensacola Christian College Lady Eagles. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time here in the Nest. Have a good rest of your evening.